the number one religion that fuels the fire on both sides. That's what they do. There were 3 crusades, Vatican I, II, Ottoman Empire I. During the Ottoman Empire, all religions were welcome to settle. So here's the thing. The Canaanites, the ancient Canaanites, which some of them were the Jewish people, obviously, and Arabs, they were worshiping, they were sacrificing to Baal, proving the Old Testament. There's a whole lot of intermingling going on there, okay? Until the Israelites got on the right track. I mean, you know, after God took them out of Egypt and all that. However, that whole area, even into India is really where the oldest religion is, which is Hinduism, which, interestingly enough, meshed with Islam way back when, before Islam was known as Islam, before the Quran, obviously. They seem to be able to coexist, just like they're fine coexisting today, Islam and Hinduism. Interesting how that works. But look, and obviously it's not all the Arab people, but the bullshit that's gone on there in Israel, and you know what? It didn't used to be called Palestine. I just put up a video. I remember I followed this stuff, and I would read into this. I'm dating myself, but going back 30 years, okay? I would go to like Barnes and Noble and read up, trying to understand all that craziness. First of all, it didn't until the last like 15 years, maybe 20 years at the most, did you start hearing Palestine. It was called the West Bank and Gaza. And the Jewish people gave up Gaza because back when Yasser Arafat was in, which was your first terrorist organization, he brought in the PLO. That's probably when the Palestine thing. They say it goes back to the Roman Empire. Well, they didn't used to call it that, okay? It was the West Bank and Gaza. But the Jewish people, just to have peace, retreated out of there. Because what people don't understand is there's not a Palestinian group of people. There's not. There's Jews and Arabs that live in Palestine. That's what it is. But this is how much the media and people that are younger don't know. So back when mainly Jews were in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, but really the Gaza Strip, there was like daily bombings where, you know, 15-year-old Arabs who would have been radicalized by the Muslim Brotherhood and all Hezbollah, and I don't even know if Hamas was back then. Yasser Arafat was the terrorist, the PLO then, and they were a terrorist organization, and he was just always a menace. And so they would radicalize the kids, and the kids would strap bombs to themselves because they'd be told that when they die, they will go up to heaven and there'll be 72 virgins for them. Okay? And they were radicalized from the time they were young. So they would walk onto a bus and blow everybody up. It happened like on a daily basis almost. This was before Israel had their Iron Dome. This was something, it was constant. Just this senseless killing all the time. And it has never stopped. And so Jews have retreated. They gave up Gaza because they thought, okay, they've taken less and less land just to have peace. Plus, they had formed relationships with many of the Arabs that lived in these areas. Goldemir talks about that. And she was the first, and maybe she was the only prime minister that was female. And I mean, she says it. No, there was no Palestinians. We were Arabs and Jews. And many of them had strong bonds because they were neighbors. I would watch interviews of them saying this is so upsetting because these terrorist organizations, like Yasser Arafat's PLO, or nowadays Hamas or Hezbollah, it doesn't matter. Some damn Arab radical group will get in there and start their bullshit. They always do. And then they use the Arab and Jews that are living in Palestine, and then call them Palestinians as if they're not Arabs and Jews, and act like it's a whole different set of people, and it's not. And there's nothing more Israel can do. Okay, because the Arabs are never going to accept it. So to sit there and then go back to this Kharzazian Jews and all that crap with the Talmud, look, the people that have been causing all the havoc and wanting, besides Germany, which that's a whole, I don't know, that's what your certain type of Germans, I guess, maybe because of the Holocaust, maybe some Anglo-Saxons. I mean, people that never wanted to give up the sacrificing of humans crap, okay? But that goes back to Arabs were doing it. Jews were doing it in Canaan, okay? And then when the Israelites split off, God was like, no, we're not doing, we're done. No, none of this. He was having them go in and kill the people because they were throwing their babies to Baal or Moloch. All that area, okay? So what is happening today? What has always happened? They do not want Israel to exist. They do not want the Jewish people to exist. Like, if you can't give us this small little bit of land to a group of people that have lost many members of their group, okay, because of the Holocaust and many other things, then don't tell me about your damn Allah, okay? Don't tell me about your bullshit religion, okay? Because when you can do the shit that they've done there, these radical Islam groups, and then use the Quran to hold up that it's okay to do it, no, you worship the devil, okay? Your God tells you it's okay to lie to people. It's okay to radicalize children and put bombs onto them, and make them believe that killing themselves, they'll be martyred and be a hero for the rest of their life, when really it's just about what the true Bible says, which is that those Jews are always going to be persecuted. If you really wanted to make the Christian Bible not look legit, you shouldn't have been, the radical Islam shouldn't have been constantly persecuting the Jews, okay? Then they could have really disputed the Bible, but they prove it because they can never get past it. And there's many Arabs that live in Palestine that wanted to get past it. It's like, no, it's fine. This is a little area. They even gave them up more, and there was still even when they gave up the Gaza Strip, it wasn't enough because they just want the Jews dead. That's it. That's it. So the same people during the Holocaust, you could say, oh, it's the Kharzazian Jews and all that, whatever, and I'm not trying to be, a bitch here. I'm not. I'm just, it's like, who's the one doing the killing? I mean, I've seen it my whole adult life that goes on there in Israel, okay? And it doesn't matter how much land they give up to give them more. It's still not enough. And even at this point, I think Jordan and some other, even Saudi Arabia maybe, are sick of it. A lot of the reason they don't want to let the people in Palestine into their countries too is because they don't know which ones will be mixed in that are radical Muslim Brotherhood, because many of these Arab countries, they do not support the Muslim Brotherhood. They do not support Hamas. I mean, I know our universities are so stupid and have the kids marching and flying the Arab flag for the terrorist organizations, but that just shows how stupid Americans are that, go to the universities. I'm just saying. Okay? But most of the Arab world that has common sense refutes Hamas and this bullshit. They want peace too. They're sick of it. So it's very simple. The people that are trying to annihilate an entire race of people, they are the problem, not some sect of Jews. That's what I'm trying to say.